Okay, we have gotten underway. We are live. Holy smoly, we're back to streaming again. Content for the channel. Since January, since I've done one of these. And even before that, it was a whole nother year. So, goodness gracious. It has been a long time. Welcome to anybody who is here. Of course, Andrew Miller here, or Top Dragster, as you know. I am not alone for this, and thank goodness I'm not alone because the rust is definitely there, but I've got one of the best in the business. The man behind Tarnation TV, Blaine Donlin, is right here alongside me. Holy crap, thank you for joining me, man. Let's do this. And I am stoked. I am very glad to be back and doing this thing again with everyone. Got the NNSCRA Winter Series going on here. Big shout out to Joshua Mercurio is going to be the man putting this on. We got a great group of drivers here ready to kick things off here from the Auto Club Speedway. 1 hour timed race. That's going to be unusual. And of course, once we go to the live picture, you're going to kind of see what everything is all about. To everyone in chat, though, of course, this is the first time I've done a stream in a long time. So if anything sounds off, if anything's too loud, too quiet, please let me know. I'm always open for that feedback. And then we'll try to kind of better this as we go along throughout the season, because we are going to be bringing you guys the entire season starting now and going into, I'm wanting to say it's like February or March even. So, yeah, this is going to be an awesome deal. Going to be hopefully having, plenty of guys alongside me here in the booth. Hopefully, we'll have Blaine up here a few times. I've got him up here tonight. Again, can't thank you enough. uh, this is the first. Yes, sir, it is. We've got a 10 race regular season and then a 5 race chase. Now, there are going to be a fair amount of off weeks, of course, because a lot of, with these races happening on Tuesdays, there are going to be some holidays that those fall onto, and I think some other league racing that's going to be going on. So that's what kind of spreads out the season a little bit. Shout out to RJ Bishop in the chat. There's Allie. Got Nathan. Good to see you, dude. Mark in chat as well. Uh-oh, that's not good. All right. Well, this is why we went live a little bit earlier than normal. So let me try to fix that. What is going on here? Could y'all hear the engines on the cars? That's another question. Let's see. Yeah, that is strange. That's. I mean, I had played back some stuff before, and even though my desktop audio wasn't, the bar wasn't moving, I could still hear stuff. So I don't know why it is doing that. Well, let's try to fix that. Properties, device. Let's try that. Try speaking again.
All right, let's do it. Check microphone. Yeah, I'm trying to get my
Hey,
YouTube
there
app on
we
my
go.
phone's not working either.
All right. Yep, I found the problem. We got it.
Ah,
And I'm a little quiet, so let me try to bump that up a little bit. Maybe by about 2. All right, let's try that. All right. Hopefully that should do it. And yep,
nice.
now we fixed the problem. So what happened was so OBS was set for some reason to go through my laptop speaker, not my headphones. So now that I have it set to my headphones, now the audio should be coming through.
OBS, it's a fantastic software, but and there's so many things you find, especially when you're streaming such an old thing like NASCAR race in 2003 season, of like the fail safes that you have to have in place as well. Because I remember, I have a second keyboard that I set up with macro so that
Mm-hmm.
I can control the broadcast and still have it in full screen mode. So I can mute mics, turn mics on, pull up the replay screens, all that kind of stuff. And I'll listen back to a race when I first started, and like you said, there's no car sounds, or
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear the co-host the whole time, had no idea. Like the thing's a complete write-off. But then I just set up more keys. I'm like, okay, what if nobody can see the ticker? I have a ticker reset key, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's like, because that stuff's happened with the ticker. I can't get the ticker working, and it's, I just put it on a button. If I find a way to put it on a button, I'll put it on a button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
But yeah, man.
I've got the only buttons I have are just to swap between the still image that you guys are seeing right now, of course the Winter Series logo. We will be looking to again kind of update this and try to get it a little more polished as the season goes on. This is really all I can do for the time being. But again, once we go live here, which will be at the conclusion of qualifying here in about 2.5 minutes, you guys will see the real deal and kind of what we've got thrown together here. Shout out to Seth Cole for making the most of the overlay that you see. Most of it was done by him. Some of it I kind of threw together. You guys will be seeing the timer, the official timer that these guys are using to establish that 1 hour time limit, which we'll kind of go into the rules of that in a little bit, um,
That's
as
the
well
thing.
as
There's a
just kind of
lot
trying to
of
fill some space. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting things tonight. So right now they're doing, what do they call it, group qualifying. So they're actually in a practice session.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not qualifying by yourself. You're able to use the draft and get those times. And then you've also, like you said too, they don't run a set number of laps. They literally fired up this race tonight with 100% length. They're not going to run 100%, but they have some flexibility to run overtime if they have to and try to get a green, white, checkered finish. So with a 60-minute timer, maybe we'll run 40 laps, maybe we'll run 60 laps. We don't really know what's going to happen. We do know that it hopefully will end under green,
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
which I think is going to be amazing, trying to see what kind of pit strategy comes in here. Because if you're going, okay, there's 60-minute time limit, you're 15 minutes to the end, you got to pit for fuel, but how much fuel do you get? Maybe I'll stay out and see if I can win this thing, and then there's a late yellow, and then it adds an extra 6 laps to the race. Like that could really mess people up. If
mm-hmm.
they end up adding some time to get to the green flag finish, you may have had enough fuel to end at 60 minutes, but if it ends up going past the 60-minute mark to get the green flag and with the checkered, you might see guys run out of gas long before they get to the finish, even on a pace lap or like on a caution flag lap, just because, man, I had enough gas to get me to the end of this thing if it didn't go an extra 5 minutes. So we could
Yeah.
run into extra time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with this with these time braces. That is going to throw a huge curveball into strategy. Kind of knowing how long a fuel run is actually going to take. The fuel window is about 25 to 27-ish laps as far as actually running. Um, as far as tires, there's definitely going to be a lot of tire wear on this thing. Based on what I've heard, we could see these guys fall off by about a second and a half within a fuel run.
Oh,
It is
wow.
going to be manual cautions. I know that for sure. Um, it looks like these guys are just finishing up their group qualifying. At the end of it, looks like Josh Mercurio in the number 11 is going to get the pole position, the only driver to run a sub 40-second lap time. And then Jovan Anderson, Emmanuel Hartnett, Jack Merkel will be fourth. Ulysses Sandoval is a familiar name to all you Tarnation TV viewers.
Hmm?
In fifth, Austin LaPlante in sixth. Anthony McCurry, Blake Warren, Michael Norman, Seth Cole, Matt McIntyre all took lap times here. So that is 11 drivers. And then they'll just kind of cut through qualifying here, I would imagine. And then they'll have a 5-minute happy hour to kind of get everything established. So the way that'll work then is when they take the start of the race, when the green flag flies in game, they will not actually go. They are going to get themselves sorted so that they can actually start in the positions that they quote unquote qualified in.
Yeah, that's a neat way to do it. I've done that. I think I've broadcasted that once or twice before. I totally forgot about that method of qualifying. It's kind of neat. Have you ever done a timed race? I've never done that.
Nope, I have never even witnessed one. I
Yeah,
know
this will
that
be
that's a
interesting.
thing. There was that one event that happened a while back. I was invited to, but I couldn't do it. Where it was a long timed race,
Oh, dude.
but it was two drivers.
Yeah,
So
because
like
that was
at
like a
halfway through, you would swap out.
5 or 6 hour marathon. It was a crazy endurance race.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that, and I
this
didn't
is
actually
neat.
get to partake in that. This is going to be cool. I'm excited. I'm
I
also
like.
excited to
I
show. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I keep stepping on you, man. This is your broadcast. I was just going to say, I like how they provided us with a link to this cloud synchronized stopwatch, which everybody will see on the live broadcast when you kick this thing.
Hmm.
Where I'm staring at a timer right now on my screen, as you are as well. That's sitting at an hour. So when they click go, every driver is going to be able to see this countdown, probably on their phone or on a secondary monitor or wherever it is, to help their strategy out. And the time's ticking. We'll be under green for an hour.
Hmm.
Cutting laps. So as every race in this series will be
One
an
hour.
hour long time limit.
Yep.
So that's really cool. If you're at a short track, you could end up doing 100 laps. Super speedway, not so much.
Yeah, it's a very diverse schedule from what I remember. I'll have to actually get that pulled up then. I was more worried about just getting all this set up, um, which I think we'll do the grand reveal here. Da 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 da, and check it out. Here we are. We're at Auto Club. You got as Blaine said, you got the timer up in the top right. GNL TV ticker is going to be going across the top there so that you guys can kind of get a rough idea of where everyone's running throughout the race. We'll of course be trying to keep things, uh, keep a track of everything that happens on track. Like I said, manual caution, so they will be thrown by the admin. He will type caution in the chat. The field will slow down to pace car speed, and the leader of the race will serve as the pace car. Pit road speed is 55 miles per hour. And yeah, if I had to take a rough guess, I'm pretty sure that this will probably be a two-stopper if this were to go green. And yep, we are running CWS 15 for this thing. We'll just kind of go through real quick here, take a look at some of these cars, or trucks, I should say. There's Nick Gunther, the only driver that did not take a lap time. He will be starting 12th out of 12. We got 12 drivers that are going to be running this thing. And yeah, this is the at least for now, this is the layout. Probably we'll be sticking to this, but of course, yeah, we'll try to keep polishing things as the season goes on.
Well, and you're saying
Um,
too about Nick not taking a lap time. That's not a problem for him.
no, no, not for him at all. He's will not be surprised to see him up there in that number 4. Jack Merkel is a driver that I have not seen race in years, many years. I know that he's been running some of these NNSCRA series as of late, but I have not really witnessed it much myself. So this will be cool to see him. He's driving that number 24 Chevy, kind of a Jeff Gordon, kind of a throwback there to kind of one of his final seasons.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Let's see, you
These
got
guys
Seth
too,
Cole
man.
driving the
Like
school bus.
watching their lines, like especially on a track like this, this Auto Club, 2 miles even in length, super wide. the different lines these guys take around this thing too is fun to watch, because you'll have a guy same line all day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some guys really know the track really well. They'll be running high maybe they'll be running high for the first half of the run, and then as it starts to fall apart, maybe they move down a lane or two or whatever. But it's hard to stay consistent for me when I race it. I mean, I love this thing. I've been playing it ever since it came out in 2003. Just to follow some of these guys around some of these tracks and thinking, man, like, I've put a lot of time in on a lot of tracks and a lot of mods on this thing. Some of these guys are like full-blown professional race car drivers. We're just looking at the consistency, especially in a video game simulator.
Oh yeah, yeah. I am I'm always going to be impressed at just the skill that goes into a lot of what these guys do, whether it's this league or other leagues. Which of course, as the description says, yeah, if you're interested in checking out some online racing, uh, just let an admin know. Facebook's usually your best bet, and you can pretty much get anywhere, large, small, many different mods, many different tracks, series dedicated to short tracks, super speedways,
I
all
want to find
variety
an
of stuff.
open wheel league and do a broadcast. It's the one thing I haven't done is an open wheel broadcast on, like, Monaco or Monza or somewhere, like some road circuit somewhere.
Oh man, I have
Because
not
it's been
seen an open wheel series in a long time. But that would
no.
be cool because the mod exists. There's plenty of IndyCar mods.
Yeah, there's IndyCar mods, there's F1 mods, and they use the PTA physics package, which gives you that Project Trans Am physics pack. So you get the 7-speed transmission and the crazy downforce and lighter cars and all that kind of stuff. So they really do drive a whole lot different.
Those things are beasts. I've driven the
But
PTA physics already.
there's not a lot of people that run open wheel leagues. I mean, they do exist. I guess we just got to find them.
Yeah, they're out there somewhere. I'm sure if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
We've got the guys getting on the track now. We've got
Yep.
a full 12 cars on the grid, and we'll
I
go ahead
have
and put it
retired,
to
so
the
that's
live
good.
picture. I should probably do the same just while I'm off screen here. There we go.
Drivers, start your engines!
All
There's
right.
the call.
Get you to live images here. Of course, yeah, these guys like to have a lot of fun with it here. You got Seth Cole driving the school bus, Matt McIntyre in a very interesting number 738 scheme. Those are mermaids on there. I don't know what that show is, but
I I have no idea what's going on with that truck.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it's like,
Don't have the
okay,
84 scheme. Sorry about that.
like there's no rules on the templates of this league, because you could just have 4 mermaids on the side of your truck.
Oh yeah, yeah. The number doesn't even really have to be
No.
there as long as you're racing, then that's all that matters. So, like I said, these guys are not going to go here at the green. They are going to get themselves sorted out to the order in which they did their group qualifying. So we will see the 11 come to the front. The 93 will then be second, if I recall correctly.
What should we call this? We should call this the shuffle or the
The
dance. I don't know. Like, there's got to be a word for this.
pre-race shuffle up
Yeah.
and deal, as they say in World Series of Poker.
Yep. Just remember where you qualified and get in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way to remember is just remember who you were behind,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and if it's an odd or an even number, so you know what lane to be in. Obviously,
Yeah. Exactly.
the timer has not started yet. I'm assuming that timer will start when we come back around to the stripe.
Yep. These guys will get the clock started as soon as they take the start-finish line this time. So you've got the 11, Josh Mercurio, 93, Jovan Anderson. There's Emmanuel Hartnett, the 83. Jack Merkel, 24. Ulysses Sandoval, 96. Austin LaPlante, 84. 61, Anthony McCurry. Blake Warren, 29. Michael Norman, 22. Seth Cole, 78. 738, Matt McIntyre and Nick Gunther in the 4. That is your field for tonight. These guys are going to come around here. The clock will start, and we are going to be on the countdown for 1 hour. We'll see how far these guys can go. And we're going to have some fun here. Golly. Top Dragster's back to broadcasting on the Top
Yeah,
Dragster
man.
Network. Thank you, Seth, for kind of coining that for me unintentionally.
It's been a long time. You're saying January. You're talking 10 months.
It has been 10 months, and that was the only broadcast that I've done in about the last 2 years.
Wow.
So,
Now you still got it.
hey, we still got it. And we're going to have some fun here into the restart zone. Clock has started, and green flag is out. And a great jump there for Joshua Mercurio right off the bat. See if Hartnett can try to challenge him here and is already looking to the inside to try to take the lead, or got him loose.
I am monitoring the chat to see if there is any yellows.
Wow. That was not the start the pole sitter wanted. It got loose in turns 1 and 2, was able to catch it. Credit to him. As
Full
we
green.
did have a spin out, actually. It was Michael Norman has gone around. And something else has happened. Manuel Hartnett, man, these things are loose on the
Yeah.
start. Holy cow.
I find that with no matter what you're running, even if it's a fixed setup, you really do have to wait a couple laps for these things to come together.
Oh, yeah. And cold tires are brutal.
Yeah.
And then, once you get settled in, you'll be in good shape. It looks like since they were single car spins, they're going to keep them going. As Jovan Anderson has taken the lead, Anthony Mercuri's now looking to try to take that away from him. And then once things kind of settle out here, we'll try and get a replay on those spin outs. But man, we've already got a few. We've already had 4 lead changes here in the first 2 laps.
Yeah.
Golly, you thought you would have said that. Anthony Mercuri leads that lap. Here comes Ulysses Sexy Sandoval. Yes, that is what he calls himself.
He calls himself a lot of stuff.
That he does. I know that you've done a lot of streams with him in it. Quite the character, but quite the driver as well. So I'm not too surprised to see him up here. Mercuri, though, with a great run, is going to be able to hold on to the lead for now. Maybe our first sustainable leader here so far.
I'm just looking back through there. It looked like Michael Norman went around there in the 22 truck, spun around in front of a couple guys, but only came into contact with the wall. So like you were saying, self spins.
And keeping it clean, thankfully. As we are officially now 2 minutes and 25 seconds into this thing. This is so strange. I'm like keeping an eye on the clock. And,
Yeah, that's cool though.
Kind of seeing where things are at. But yeah, it is so different and so cool. So now that we got things settled down here a little bit, we're going to go ahead and show you guys what happened to first 2 incidents of the race here. We'll get the 22 first, because he was the first to go around. Michael Norman. After a great save from the 11. And it looks like, yeah, he just kind of had the same fate. Ended up spinning out. Great miss there by Nick Gunther. Did not have any contact. At least very little. Definitely a hard slap there to the wall on the front end. And, oh, that was actually contact with the 83 going around. He came down a bit onto Jovan Anderson and then just bounced off of him, and that's what sent him around. So, they're all keeping it clean, but, or at least keeping it straight, I should say, at the end of that all. But, yeah, that was a pretty chaotic first lap. But now things have settled down, and got a good pack up here of about 7 cars.
I'm just going to say, yeah, there's 7 in the main pack, and then just behind them we got McIntyre, Gunter, and Mercurio in a little 3 truck section, all by their lonesome there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then we've got Hartnett and Norman. Kind of nice that Michael Norman and Seth Cole actually get out here and do some racing, because they're usually busy talking like we are.
Yeah.
Talking smack.
Yeah, for our end guys, that is cool to see. But no, yeah, I know these guys love to bring it out on the racetrack, and that is cool to see. Did see Jovan Anderson with some bad warp there for a bit, but looks like that has settled down, thankfully. So now this is kind of where you. I spoke too soon on that one. This is warping again. Holy cow! That is not something you want to end up in, because physics don't really know what to do with a lagging truck, and if you end up next to that and it kind of pings into you, oh boy, the weird physics are just going to take over, and you don't know what's going to happen.
I've seen that happen too, where if the vehicle just kind of blinks, it's fine, but I've seen it actually start sweeping across the whole track, and that is scary, especially in traffic.
Yeah, I've seen them get as far as like the infield and
Yeah,
going outside of the outside wall. It can get pretty insane. It's only in 1 and 2 though. It seems to be where that's happening, and they're
yeah,
spread out enough that I don't think that's really going to cause much of a problem. Thankfully.
and they'll be calling that out too live in the team speak, probably just letting them know that he's sweeping them a little bit. Guys will give him some space to hopefully let that connection stabilize. We are using Radmin too, so that's a little bit iffy sometimes. It's working great right now.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad to see that that's working well. Yeah, Race LM is usually what these guys use. That has been having some problems lately, so a lot of guys that kind of rely on servers like that needing to find some alternatives, and these guys are yeah using Radmin for that tonight. So it's good to see that everyone's keeping it pretty steady as far as their connection goes. I was a little worried about that going in. But no, yeah. Aside from Joven, everyone's looking pretty smooth. Everyone's keeping pretty much right at steady gaps right now. Probably trying to save their tires for this
Yeah.
run. We're currently 10 laps into this run, as we are only not even 7 minutes into this thing. So this is where you start maybe doing some mental math of okay, how many laps have we turned at this point in time, and trying to kind of calculate that if this race goes green on when you want to pit, how often you need to pit, and trying to decide on overcut, undercut, trying to make that work as best as you can.
Yeah, you wonder like if they're going to add laps, like if you want to end a race under green, so they might try to do that a couple times. If there's a yellow, let's run a couple laps, put it back green again, run a couple laps, see if we can get to that finish. But yeah, how does your math work on our way to that 60-minute? You don't know how much longer that's going to get. I'm wondering, like you were saying, you could almost do a two pit race.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some guys go a little early and make it a 3-pit race, and then there's no question you'll make it, no matter what happens at the end. You got lots of fuel.
And caution is out here. As they're slowing it down, they're immediately throwing in the clutch, I'm noticing, which is kind of cool. See what maybe what the plan might be there. It looks like possibly the 40 or yeah, the 22 and the 83 may have had a tangle. Let's go
I'll
ahead
back
and
up, see if I can find it.
let's take a look here.
I completely missed that. How good are we? Oh, yeah, it was definitely the timestamp 9:35.
9:35.
22. Yep, the 22. The reason I say 9:35 is if you pause it, I think you can click in there. Oh, no, you can't. You can only do it with laps. Lap 10.
Let's see here. Yeah, I saw Norman disappeared there for a moment. Have a look here.
They are running moderate damage.
Oh, he slid up the track and then came down after spinning out and into Hartnett. So yeah, that's what caused them to go around.
Similar. Get a bit of camera angle on it here. Yeah,
We'll get one more look here. Yeah, he just got too far up the racetrack and
yeah. It looks like if he's halfway through that corner, the thing starts pushing right, and then you can't. It's hard to compensate for that, especially at that spot at the corner.
yeah, and
You got to get on them brakes.
Yeah, he had the wheel so cranked trying to keep it off the wall that by the time he hit the wall and then the thing corrected itself and the front end just grips and sends you around like that. So yeah, kind of a rough deal there, but easy to do in a predicament like that. I will
Yeah.
admit. I haven't been there once or twice myself.
Yep. Yeah, you can only lift and brake so much. I mean, if you're going to hit that wall, you're going to hit it. Sometimes. This is interesting here, too. Joven entered the pits in 4th last lap. He's still on pit road.
I wonder if he
Maybe
may have
tended to
been
some damage.
either had some damage or was attending to his internet issue there, potentially. Kind of the nice thing about the field not being super duper big is that track position, if you lose it, it's not quite as
Yeah.
disastrous to try to get it back up there. And I know Jovan, he can definitely do that. Anthony McCurry does hold on to the lead after pit stops with Austin LaPlante in second place. Those guys held their position. Credit to Blake Warren is now going to be up here in third, followed by Jack Merkel in fourth, and then round out the top five. No surprise to see him getting close back up there is Nick Gunther. We have gone back green.
Green flag race, and this is cool because we're not going to get stuck in these like 4 or 5 lap yellows. Oh my goodness gracious.
Man, they are loose. And that is trouble with Merkel and a few others. It's like half the field just spun out.
Everybody on planet Earth. That's what happened right there. It's a shorter list of who got through that.
Yeah.
Which I think was Mercury because he's in first.
Yeah, that looked like... and Jovan Anderson because he was too far behind that.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, they're going to be putting the caution out for that, no doubt.
Yeah, yellow is out.
But man, turn 2 is just treacherous on cold tires.
It looks like Austin LaPlante got a little bit loose in that corner. He actually gathered it up, but it was the checkup behind with Merkel and Seth is in there, Becurio, everybody involved in that pretty much. It was a great save though. By wait a second, it was a great save by Austin LaPlante, and he actually did end up losing it, unfortunately. But
yeah, they got hit there by Sandoval. After it was all said and done, some good hits there for Seth Cole. Actually got partially airborne.
Yeah, Austin LaPlante with a great save, but then lost it again right after that, and then actually got hit coming down to the back straightaway.
That's just how squirrely these things are on the.
Might need more than tires.
Yeah. Focusing on Sandoval here. Yeah, there's all the checkup ahead of him. Mercurio gets into Gunther. That's what sends him around. And Sandoval thinks he's got everything clear and then gets into the 84.
The fake job. Look at that. Michael Norman with the fake. McIntyre with the fake.
We got some interesting pit road stuff going on here, huh?
Yeah.
I know they have
track position
usually.
Do you say too, like track position, especially on a with a smaller field, like we're going like about 14 people here. But if you're in front of the wreck, you're not taking any damage. So that's a bonus. Get out in front like that.
Yeah, you're on brand new tires anyway, so it's like, why bother? Everyone else is coming down that was involved in that in some way, shape, or form to get new tires and fix any damage that they may have got. We'll kind of keep it on the pit road here, see who ended up with more damage. Looks like pretty minimal damage for most of these guys, considering how short their pit road stay is. Jovan Anderson's still going to be last off, though. We'll see if these guys are able to get formed back up in time for us to be able to go green on this lap. 61:22, 7:38 will be the top 3.
Yeah, since we are about 15 minutes into this race. Question for the YouTube chat, of course. Who do you think is going to win? This caution flag brought to you in part by Top Dragster Networks. Subscriptions are free for the next 10 minutes. Click subscribe now.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
You will never
and don't forget to hit and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Boop-de-doop-de-doo.
Smash the like button, share with your friends.
Every time somebody says smash the like button, I just want to shut my TV off.
I know.
I hate it.
I mean,
I just hate it. Like people know how YouTube works, and it's like, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Cool.
Oh yeah. For me,
smash that like button. Like,
I'm not monetized. I'm not making anything off of this.
No, exactly. It's just say it a different way, though. I think the smash thing just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you dig what we do, how about you give it a like or a dislike, or hit dislike hit the dislike button twice.
Oh, McIntyre.
He's
Oh,
around.
no. LaPlante around again. Warren's around.
Seth Cole took a hit there
Cole's
too.
spinning.
Curio's
Throw
spinning.
it.
It's green. I do not have an update in the chat yet for yellow.
Wow, okay.
I'm watching it. I got it up on the screen there. I'm watching it in spectator view so I can have the.
Yeah. I do know
They're
that
keeping
they
it green.
I do know they race back to the line.
Oh, that might be it. They might pull it right now.
Well, no, they haven't.
No.
I guess
Still
they figured,
full speed.
well, those were all self spins, so with minimal contact, so keep it going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yellow flag, race back to the line. It is up now. Yep. So I see what they did. They went to the line and now they're going to do one more.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they were trying to figure out, like, was anyone hit? Was there any contact involved? And after some deliberation, they said yes, and we are going to be going under caution here shortly as they race back to the line. McCurry still in the lead so far, been probably the most dominant truck thus far, has kept it the cleanest. Michael Norman will now be second, ahead of Sandoval, Gunther, and Merkel. And then also getting through there is going to be Hartnett, who just ran his fastest lap of the race that lap. As we get the replay up for this, just kind of going back to your point about the whole hitting the like button thing. There is a metal YouTuber, like metal music YouTuber, who what does he say? He says something along the lines of like mosh pit the like button, windmill the video to your friends.
Oh jeez.
No, it's headbang the like button, and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was kind of funny.
I was watching one guy. He says, if you like what we're doing, make sure you click like or hit dislike twice. Like, what do they say? He's like, yeah, hit the thumbs up button, and if you dislike the video, make sure you double tap the thumbs down. So by double tapping the thumbs down, you turn it on and then you turn it off.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually count, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, yeah, make sure you hit that thumbs down button twice.
Yeah, exactly. And just looking at the replay here, that was McIntyre just trying to catch it, and just wasn't quite catching for him, and everyone else, I think, just ended up kind of being a victim of circumstance. Seth Cole going for quite the spin there. That is not a school bus that I want to be riding on right now.
Nope. And that's cold tires again, because remember, we just come off that yellow, and they're getting into these corners. I mean, it's a wide enough track, but it's a little bit loose for a couple laps. They just got to kind of mind each other, give each other some space, I think. But I mean, accidents happen.
Oh yeah, it's really difficult to like really space out and play it that conservatively. I mean, as racers, you want to what's the best time to make up positions on a start or a restart. So
exactly,
you kind of have that mentality that's hard to turn off, and I'm guilty of that for sure.
But that's the thing too. You see somebody being conservative, and you want to take advantage of it, but then you end up spinning out. The conservative guy didn't want to spin out.
Exactly.
And then that's why you take it a little easy. But then on the other hand, some guys are great. Like, it doesn't matter. They've got their controller dialed in perfect, with all the options there is for steering wheels and keyboards and whatever, game pads, joysticks, whatever you use it. There's so many options to make that controller work. And some guys just have a little bit of pedal assist or steering assist, and it just sometimes you can drive right through all that stuff.
Oh yeah, and your guys can hold on to it better than others. It's like you said. I mean, with a tighter setup, in the long run, I mean, usually it'll deceive you and it'll really spin you out on these cold tires. But yeah, for a lot of these guys that can try to hold on to it better, versus they favor the tight setup, and so they're gonna possibly struggle with that a little bit more. Yeah, that can be a little bit sketchy. But we've got these guys getting single file here. I wonder if they're going to do a single file restart here. wouldn't be super surprised because I have seen leagues do that before.
Yeah.
To answer a question from a gentleman in chat, this is not iRacing. This is NASCAR Racing 2003. So kind of the iRacing before iRacing. I guess is
Yep.
the best way to word it.
It is, yeah. This game, I mean, Papyrus existed in the 90s into the early 2000s, and they made racing simulators like Grand Prix Legends, IndyCar Racing, and then, of course, the NASCAR stuff. This was the last game that they were ever able to do, and before EA got the license for it. So they got it out for Christmas 2002, and then they went in with EA Sports and did some EA Sports games, and then they bailed. In 2006, I think they created iRacing using the physics they created for this game, using the netcode they created for this game. So the NASCAR discipline in iRacing feels exactly like this. If you've played NR 2003, you'll right at home in the NASCAR section of iRacing. But of course, this is so old, it's been abandoned. It's free. Abandoned stuff is always free. Green flag racing here on lap 22.
Let's see if we're able to get through Calamity Corner here. Very treacherous. Oh, the
Getting
plant's
close
not
back
going
there
to.
again.
But that looked like a single truck there. I think we're going to stay green.
Yep.
Golly. Like, right as it unloaded coming off the corner.
Yeah.
Is when that
So
thing
far,
let
so
go.
good. We're green. We'll see what they make the call at the line. I think that's kind of what they do. If there's going to be a call, it's going to be after they cross the line.
They'll probably deliberate about was any contact involved, did anyone else get collected, and if the answer is
Probably,
no, then off we go.
Probably a bit safer too, because it lets everybody just kind of drive, and you're not. And it's a race back situation anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good. We are still green. Black flag that last time around, Stacy Compton. They are also putting that in the chat as well.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Guys like that.
So black flag. It's funny. Like, yeah, the black flags we've had are the 83.
I'm not surprised.
That was from the one before, actually. I just noticed that they were putting the flags on people in the comments, not the comments, the chat box in the game.
Yeah, I know
this whole entire race will be green technically. So,
like at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if someone goes in the chat and says black flag 61.
Yeah, somebody just said it's rigged.
It's rigged. No, it'd be rigged if the 11 were leading.
Yeah. Austin LaPlante says it's rigged. Because he was probably the one involved in the.
Out.
Yeah, exactly. Leading your race, McCurry.
Let's get some spectator cam on here. Yeah, McCurry has been absolutely dominant, really, ever since about 5 laps in. We are currently running the 25th lap of this race. But again, as you see up in the corner, timer is counting down. We've got officially 37 minutes remaining. Closing in on the halfway point of this thing, and it is 1 hour plus a lap. So if we go green and they and then the timer runs out, they will run 1 extra lap.
Right.
And no, I do agree with what RJ Bishop just said. It is definitely strange seeing Nick Gunther in the number 4. He has always been a guy to run number 55. So this is a little different, that's for sure. There's some more smoke there, so I wonder if someone else may have looped it. Looks like Matt McIntyre also just looped it off of turn 2. Like that is that's the trouble side. Turns 3 and 4 has had, aside from the first lap, really nothing.
Having a problem with my GNL. I was running the stats and they seemed to freeze, so I'm just rebooting my local server here.
Not a problem.
Your spectator cam is way better than the one I'm using. The stock one that came with the track is it feels like you're a spectator.
It actually feels like spectator,
with no binoculars. I'm talking like back row, can't see nothing. I mean, I do like the spectator cameras. They give you that wide angle.
Yeah. I mean, at a 2 mile track like this, I could definitely see that. I did play around with swapping out the camera set for this track just before we went on the air here, and
Yeah, you
I
got a
would say
good
it's
one.
working out.
Yeah, what I'm seeing on the broadcast is great.
I think what I took was from an. Oh man, I'd have to go into my game and I'd have to go into my folder and look. I think it was a 2015 FSB version that I took this from. Whereas this is, oh no, second place contact. Norman getting into Gunther.
Catastrophe.
Keep it straight somehow. And Constipated Top Dragster is back and better than ever.
Yeah, the best reaction of all time.
That will never go away.
No.
It has been that way for 7 years of me doing offline and then online races. That will never go away.
You talk about this NASCAR race in 2003 community keeping this thing going after like 24, 25 years. User on Reddit, his name is NR Clips, and he somehow reprograms all these camera files, and which is horrible. I've tried to do it, and it's like the worst legacy software you've ever seen in your life. Somehow this guy figured out how to use it, and he's able to reprogram the cam file. So that's where I get a lot of my stuff. I check with him to see if he's got a track. Like, hey, you got Atlanta, you Chicago. I can't remember the team that put out Chicago. I think it was Area 23. And he did the camera pack for that. Phenomenal. And he models it off actual TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really cool. It's the community involved in, of course, making the tracks, making the mods, making the sounds, making the graphics, texture packs, new skies, cameras, stuff like OBS allowing us to broadcast. Wild.
Yeah, it is cool. And I mean, even still, I saw recently through Facebook that I think someone was looking to put together like a new revamped version of, I'm wanting to say it was definitely some very famous short track. I wanted to say it was Five Flags. Don't quote me on that, but it was something of that sort. So even now, there's still new stuff coming out for it. Maybe not quite as much as in its heyday, but it's still alive and well. And
I think you're right. I saw a Reddit post or maybe a Facebook post. You're right. It was Project Short Track teamed up with somebody else. I can't remember who it was, and Five Flags was in there. They were releasing two tracks at the same time. I believe Five Flags was one of them.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh,
they put out
wall here.
Yeah, I was going to say they got bobbing and weaving, but they held on to it.
Yeah, these guys.
Project Short Track.
That is Project Short Track. That is cool. Anthony McCurry is holding on to this lead, but it is not by much at this point. Gunther is starting to reel him in, and these guys are getting a little more racy up here at the front. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe now we're starting to see some tire strategy come into play on who's got the fresher ones and who's been able to save them the best. Gunther and Merkel are giving McCurry a run for his money now.
Yeah, Benjamin Schneider in the YouTube chat just made me feel old. He was born in July after the game came out, 2003. So here I am talking about a 20-year-old game, and I'm 44 in a couple of weeks. No, I'm not. What year is this? Yeah, I'll be 44 in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, I bought this thing brand new when I was 20. Yeah, when I was 23.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm 26, so I'm...
Welcome.
Sometimes it... it's gotten to a point now that it's just enough that it makes me go, ugh, I'm in my
But that's cool, though,
now.
man. Like, we've got, a guy like Ken Roberts, but then we've got Ken Roberts' nephew, Zach Roberts, who's like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got guys like Bob Dixon who are in their 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all racing together still in this thing.
Mm-hmm. I've raced against Andy Margot. He was in his 80s.
Wow. Yeah, I don't even recognize that name. And then some of these guys like him, they would have been in leagues before this game was even released because, coming up in the late 90s, they would have started these racing leagues with NASCAR 4 and NASCAR 3 and, even before the NASCAR games, like just racing leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still going today, some of them, like, both the game's been out since 2003, yeah, but the leagues have been around since 1998.
Yeah. Yeah, that is impressive.
And they used to race on like PlayStation.
Yeah. I give kudos to all these guys, and I've also raced against some pretty decent drivers who were like 13, 14.
Yeah.
So it is really, really neat. We got lap cars here. Oh, the plant, hold on to it.
They're
there.
trying to move out of the way. Let's talk about Mercury, man. You want to? Well, you probably know how many laps he's led. Let's see if anybody in the chat knows. We're on lap 35 right now. If anybody in the chat wants to take a stab at how many laps the 61 of Anthony Mercury has led, just give us your guesses.
My guess is going to be about 30 at this point.
You're close.
I don't have the stats. Yeah, you got all the stats here, as we are officially now past the halfway point.
29 minutes.
Up there. 29 minutes, 40 seconds is what I've got on my clock. And of course, it is in sync. But yeah, Mercury has been doing a good job. He's been doing a good job of fending off these guys. I'm sure that Gunther has not really been forcing the issue. But no, yeah, Mercury's doing a good job of just keeping it clean and keeping it straight. Merkel did kind of clip the wall, but yeah, now these three are starting to kind of pull away a bit. Battle for fourth between Hartnett and Sandoval. And Jovan Anderson's starting to come through here, kind of giving Michael Norman a little bit of a shove. And now we're going to try to get to his inside.
Especially for Mercury up front, it's easy to stay out of trouble when you lead the whole friggin' race, because it's everybody's right behind him.
Oh,
but anything that happens, it's just in his mirror. So you're not taking on damage. It's only moderate, but that still does play into it, especially on a 2-mile track.
Yeah, high-speed track like this.
Yeah, don't take any damage. Every little bit counts.
Yeah, that's for sure. And yeah,
if it was always getting inside him.
Oh, here we go.
Making a race for it. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Gunther, as we
nearly getting into trouble there, racing for fourth on back. But yeah, now we got Gunther trying to get underneath of Mercury. Mercury's going to try to use that outside momentum to his advantage if he can keep it off the wall.
Wow.
It's awfully close.
You want to talk about using the whole track? That's using the whole track right there. These guys, both of these guys are phenomenal drivers. All three of these guys up front right now.
Oh, Merkel was definitely a heavy hitter from what I remember, and so I'm not surprised in the slightest to see him up here. It looks like he might even try a switchback here on Gunther for second.
I was going to say he's trying a different line mid corner right there. He just changed his mind. You know what? Everybody behind these three, they're going, yeah, boys, race it up, because they're cooking those tires.
Oh yeah, and yeah, racing side by side, you're never going to be as fast as when you're just racing single file. So I'm sure that they are definitely licking their chops right now if they continue to race like this. But Mercury's doing a phenomenal job of keeping ahead. See if he's going to get clear going into turn 3 here, and he will. To the outside now goes Merkel, and look, who got right in on this battle is Jovan Anderson.
I was just going to say that. Like I said, the guys in the back. Oh,
yeah, because Mercury has not pitted since the first caution. He has stayed out pretty much that whole time. He was the shortest on fuel of everybody, so I am intrigued by this. He went about 30 laps with a lot of cautions in there. And we've got 27, just under 27 minutes remaining. I think that, he should be just fine to make it to the end.
Yeah, the answer to the question I posed there before, Mercury has led 36 laps tonight. This is lap 40 you're looking at right now. And Jovan right in that mix. Those three guys racing up front allowed Jovan and Ulysses to get right in there. Oh, big hit. Warren just introduced his left side door to that wall coming into the try over here on the front straight.
I mean, I know they're the same color, but I wouldn't recommend meeting like that.
No.
Now, here's what's going to be interesting to me. With Mercury pitting as early as he did, he is going to get a big undercut on these guys. But that could come back to bite him. So is that undercut going to be big enough that he'll be able to stay out ahead? Or will these guys just run him right down? As they're catching Seth Cole now.
Yeah. In Mercury's, from his cockpit, let's say he goes in like this, depending when these guys pit. He pit on lap 40, so we're already 2 laps past that. He's not going to try to drive the absolute heck out of that thing. he's going to want to save his stuff and get to the end of this. Maybe like you're saying, he might only need to make that one pit stop with the yellows we've had.
Yeah.
And maybe we get a couple more and he's just able to conserve, get that track position back. Problem is now he's behind everybody, so he could be driving into a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Seth Cole getting a little loose there. Maybe not getting loose. He's
goes-
probably just pulling out of the way because he's a lap down, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, if this goes green, I'm going to be fascinated as to how far ahead Mercury's going to be. Let's see, what lap time is he running here? We got a few other guys who are coming down pit road, including Emmanuel Hartnett, Michael Norman, and Blake Warren. And Mercury is running about half a second or more faster at the moment. Actually, no, I stand corrected. He's not in the draft, so he's actually running slower. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize that was a 41 on the front end of that. So yeah, he's actually losing to these guys because of the draft.
Right.
Man,
But he's also got fresher stuff.
Yeah.
So now this next pit cycle comes through. Currently, last time by the stripe, he was in 10th position with a 41.3 second lap, 41.4 second lap. He just crossed. He's consistent on the lap times.
Yeah, he's whoa. Michael Norman just spun
Wow.
off on the exit.
That might be a exiting pit road black flag for Norman.
So he is now okay. So he is at least going to be able to pick up a little bit of help from Hartnett and Warren now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's lost too much time at this point.
It looks like Cole. Oh, he's headed to the pits. Gotcha.
I think Jack
Yeah,
Merkel
Warren
also just pitted. I'm trying to find him. Where'd he go?
Merkel is on pit road.
He is, okay. I
Yep.
kept trying to cycle through them. I couldn't find him. So this will be interesting now.
Seth Cole is on pit road. Mercurio is on pit road.
You see him back there. Has not been the best of evenings for the pole sitter. Alright, let's see. Who's pitting this time? Looks like it's all the top three. Gunther, Anderson, Sandoval going to come in together. And then where will Jack Merkel come out in relation to these guys? I think Mercury's going to end up losing them because of... I didn't think that the draft helped you that much once the tires wore down. That was completely my fault.
Merkel is now merging back in on the back straightaway. Just exiting the pits.
Awkward spot there with Mercurio. But everyone comes in there cleanly.
22 minutes remaining in the race. Thanks everybody for watching.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. This is cool. Having a race that just like lap counts out the window. It's just all about the time. That is
that
neat.
lap counter in the top right hand corner of your screen, brought to you in part by Top Dragster Network. Make sure you swat the like button.
There you go.
And
that's it.
Double click the thumbs down.
Just don't swat me. Please don't do that.
No.
Oh, look at this.
Hire him.
He's going to get pretty well ahead of at least two of them.
Yep.
Gunther going to get ahead as well. Nice.
Glorious pit cycle. I love it when it happens under green. That's always cool. Very cool. Look at that 3 wide split back there. That was pretty slick.
Ooh,
Anderson
wow,
and Hartnett just did the 3 wide split on Sandoval.
Yeah, them guys still getting up to speed a little bit. Blake Warren.
Who's in first now? Merkel's in first. Okay.
Merkel is going to be out ahead. And okay, Mercury actually lost way less than I thought.
And the 61 sits in third place.
However, he's going to be on older tires now, so I don't think he's going to have much to be able to try to close back in to contend for the win, being on older tires. Got 21 minutes remaining. Should be, as far as I can tell. Well, let's see. You're running 40 seconds a lap. Yeah, this is the math that these guys are trying to do right now. And I'm
yeah.
So if
and we're not
40
driving.
seconds a lap in 20 minutes, how many laps is that going to be?
Yeah, because they're cutting 40-second laps, right? 40 to 42-second lap.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to end up getting in 20 minutes, probably, I guess I could run the math. 1 million.
Well, I don't. Well, it's definitely going to be
Probably not 1
iffy
million.
because they're clutching, and they are clutching hard. Yeah, watch Merkel going into this corner. He's going to throw it in. Right there. Engine cuts out. Throw it back
Wow.
on. Yeah, these guys, they're trying to save fuel. I don't think Mercuri's going to be able to make it.
The Mercurio, Cole, and Merkel, they all pit at lap 44.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, what was the pit window?
About 25 to about maybe 27 if you really push it. Oh my gosh, look
So
at
that'd
this
be
one. It's
around,
messed.
that'd be around lap 66
4
to
wide.
70. If we go green, lap 66 to 70, they would have to come back in.
Yeah, I think Mercury has accepted the fact that he's not going to make it. He's pushing. Everyone else is not. And now it's caused a bottleneck.
Yeah, I wonder now if you just maybe you just go on a blitzkrieg and just drive that thing right to the wall, burn everything up, and then just pit again. Maybe use it up, pit one more time, and then you've got that short run, maybe a 10-lap sprint with the freshest stuff you've ever seen. So
I just hope that a few guys run out of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's
now
gapping these guys, because they're saving. He's not.
Yeah. He just put another 0.2 on them right there. They went from 0.3 gap to a 0.5. He's going to start driving away from these guys now. Man. Very interesting.
Already first race of the season, and the clock is playing havoc on the pit strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, this is neat.
This is what we like, because this is cool, because now, and remember too, there's overtime in the midst, so maybe I'm thinking Mercury, because he had to pit earlier because he stayed out and chose track position through all those yellows. He only has 2 pit stops. Everybody else has 4. So he just stayed out and chose track position. So now in the long run, he's probably going to have to pit again anyway. So why not just burn it all up and see if you can put a gap between these guys and force them to drive?
I'm sure that's what he's trying to do, although you're running 40.8, and then everyone else behind him slightly faster that time. I'm sure those old tires are now starting to come into effect. Jack Merkel's at the back of this pack. And
so did you want to know?
He does not mind that.
This is amazing. So Jovan Anderson has the fastest lap tonight so far.
Yep.
I don't know if it'll be beat. Now, I think this might have something to do with his connection issue. Fastest lap was 5.7 seconds.
I question
how fast do you think that is?
That is probably averaging about 500 miles an hour.
1,249.712 miles per hour by Jovan Anderson. Yeah, 1,200 miles per hour to get a 5-second lap. Clearly, when he was having his glitchy moments there, it clearly happened on the start line, like Mario Kart.
Oh man!
Just did the old reversal trick.
That is too funny. I mean, at least I'm pretty sure I'm looking at his legit fastest lap on my screen right now, which is a 40.1. And if we take a look, that is indeed the fastest lap of the race. It's just not quite 1,000 miles an hour.
No.
although Jovan, if you were able to pull that off, give me your setup. I'd be curious to try it.
Yeah, really. I just took a picture of it, so I got proof.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll send it to you.
Send it to me, and then I'll
there it is.
Probably post that in the Facebook group.
Yeah. It's in your Facebook chat there. I could.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Mercury is leading. We are almost certain he's gonna have to pit again. Everyone else is debatable, and we are now within 15 minutes to go here. Because remember, it's 15 minutes plus a lap. So if they're on the backstretch and the clock hits 0, they're going to take the white flag. Basically, that lap is everybody just at the wall. These cars are getting a little tight.
Austin LaPlante and Josh Mercurio are the lap down trucks we're seeing in the foreground here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get caught up too here. Seth Paul and Michael Norman are having some fun. He's for 8th and 9th.
Ulysses Sandoval trying to reel in Anthony Mercury there.
And credit to Sandoval now getting up to P2 and that number 96.
Sandoval
Ford
came
Toyota
in.
Chevy up front.
Yeah, Sandoval came in on lap 45, and Mercury came in on lap 40. So there's a 5-lap difference on that pit stop. These two guys you're looking at right now.
So they've run 12 laps for Sandoval, and I believe also Anderson and Gunther, yes.
Yep.
And we've got 14 minutes to go here.
These final 14 minutes are brought to you in part by Top Dragster. Follow Andrew on YouTube by clicking subscribe. Stay tuned for more in the coming weeks, because this is the Winter Series and it's getting cold outside.
I don't want it to get cold outside.
Oh, it's gonna.
Oh, I know. Although you want to know where it's hot right now? On the racetrack, with the action that we are seeing right now. How is that for a transition?
In Fontana, California, at this immaculate facility.
A big 2-mile track. Sandoval has gotten to the bumper of the 61. Kind of let off there a little bit, maybe trying to save a little bit still. Still got Emmanuel Hartnett and Blake Warren in this pack as well. And Nick Gunther just kind of quietly lurking there in P4. There's Jack Merkel. Well, back to 7. So you got 7 trucks here with some shot at winning it here if this thing stays green. And Gunther's still thrown in the clutch.
Every little bit counts, man. Especially if you could do it if you do it every time, it does add up. You could pull a lap out of that thing or more.
It adds up really quickly, especially with these CTS physics.
Yeah.
13
Michael Norman is still on the lead lap. 14 seconds from the leader.
They're catching the 84 and the 11. That 84 has been a little squirrely here, so we'll see what happens.
Once they get warmed up on this setup, man, it's really good racing. Like, these guys just get going. You know, it's the cold tires that always cause these yellows. Now that we're rolling, it's great. Green flag cycle.
And I'm impressed with Mercury. He's still running some great laps despite having the oldest tires now, about 20 laps old. But he's got to pit in about 5 laps. There's no way. He's got to pit in about, we'll call it 8 laps at the very most. We got 12 minutes remaining. There is no way.
But he pit early last time, but he's back in first right now. So he's anticipating, you know, pit early again. He's going to have to pit early. He's not pitting early. He just has to pit.
Oh, yeah. And maybe go
so is everybody else. Maybe. That's something to watch, yep.
Yeah, try and gain a little bit of that back and then just run the heck out of it to try to gain back that time that you lose. And then hope that a few guys just aren't able to make it.
That's an interesting strategy. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, because if you're going to run, if you do 2 tires, obviously 2 right sides, this late in the run, we're getting down to 11 minutes left on the timer. Yeah, you might not need all 4. All 4 would be nice, but that's an extra 5 or 6 seconds in that pit stall. That's a lot of track position, especially if we're under green.
Oh yeah, and I mean in this amount of time, you're probably looking at running about 18 laps if this thing stays green, maybe 17-ish, something in that vicinity. With the way that the clock is working out, as Anderson is really hounding Sandoval here, and it looks like might get him here.
Gonna get him, yeah.
And it takes 2nd place. Jack Merkel is on the move, just passed a few guys and ran a pretty quick lap a couple laps ago. Blake Warren has disappeared.
Here he goes
From the pack. Blake Warren pitted, and Mercury is in.
Yep, Mercury is in.
as is Hartnett, so he couldn't make it either. Blake Warren was the first of that pack to actually pit. And they
I'm
pitted
going to watch
5 laps
McCurry, and I'll
before.
give you an update on what he takes if you want to
Sounds
stay
like a
with the
plan.
action out there.
Sounds good to me.
He's a solid 54 mile per hour the whole way down here, so he should be good.
Playing it safe. We're getting down to 10 minutes left. Jovan Anderson is the leader with Sandoval. And then
Oh,
Gunther
he
and
had to back
Merkel.
up a bit. He missed his mark.
So will 5
Right.
laps later be enough for these guys to be able to make it?
Yep, he got the fuel and he got right sides only, but he did overshoot his pit stall just ever so slightly. He had to back that thing up about 2 feet.
So he did have to. He's going to lose a little bit of time there, not a whole lot, not quite as much as if he took 4 tires.
But again, he has 10 minutes to figure this out. So
9 minutes 40 seconds is what we've got here on the clock, plus a lap. Jovan Anderson, the leader, he pitted the latest, along with Sandoval and the 4 of Gunther. Jack Merkel a lap before them. Will they be able to make it? Joshua Mercurio's a lap down, but he's kind of found his mojo now that he's in this pack. Let's see if Anderson throws in the clutch here. They're still lapping decently quick. Does not throw in the clutch there. Ran a 40.7 that lap. I don't know. I am intrigued to see how that's going to end up unfolding. There's McCurry. Back out on his 2 tires.
Yep. A little bit of a time delay on the pits because he did
Anderson
overshoot.
just exploded.
Did he?
You've got to be kidding me.
I see Jovan Anderson headed to the pits right now. Did
His
he blow
engine
up?
just blew. I saw the smoke. You're kidding
No
me.
way.
Oh my gosh.
No way. And how did he hold on to that?
With 8.5 minutes to go, loses the motor.
The 22 has retired. The 22 of Michael Norman has retired. Jovan Anderson is showing me right now camshaft. Black flag is in the air for Blake Warren.
Possibly.
So Warren has a black. Norman just retired, and Jovan's camshaft just blew up. Or snapped in half and caused it to blow up.
Final 8 minutes here.
Yikes. Some stuff just happened.
Yeah, some stuff has happened here.
3 trucks in that last lap or 2. So the black for Warren.
Looks like that's
I'm guessing. I'm gonna.
He just came out.
Did he? Yeah. I'm gonna see. If I can.
Sandoval is in the catbird seat right now. Unless he runs out because Gunther's still saving. 7.5 minutes to go.
The drive-through
67
penalty.
laps in the book.
It was a drive-through penalty for the 29.
Jack Merkel has bailed out. He could not make it. So it is down to 2. Sandoval and Gunther are the last 2 potentially that can make it on fuel with 7 minutes remaining.
Just going back into replay to see the flag on Warren. It may have been a speeding penalty because he hit 56 a couple of times. The right tires did go over the line before you're allowed to merge. So he got hit with something.
Yeah.
It was definitely either a merge to unsafe merge or speeding on pit road. Either way, it was a pass-through.
Gunther has closed in on Sandoval. We have started the 69th lap. Very nice.
Yep.
Side by side now for the race lead. But the question is, can these 2 make it? Jack Merkel could not, and he only pitted a lap before these guys.
Yeah, Sandoval.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 5 laps. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Sandoval's going to have to pit. Because he can't, if he had to, let me see. So Mercurry pit.
Gunther's
Sandoval
pitting.
pit. Yeah, Sandoval pit 5 laps after him. There's still 6 minutes left in this race. He can't run 7 laps.
I would be astonished if he's able to make it. If Gunther has to pit, he pitted the same lap as him. There's no way.
I'm
But we'll
wondering
see.
too, like, the longer you stay out there, the less time you have to get this thing rolling again.
Oh, yeah. So with the cycle now, Anthony Mercuri is currently scored third. He's on the back straightaway. And he is, let's see, he's running about a second a lap quicker. And the current scoreboard, yeah, he's still a lap down.
Sandoval to the pits.
And Sandoval is in. Could not make it. I think
Looks
McIntyre actually ran
like...
it out. Oh boy, now who's going to come out where is
Yeah,
the question.
McIntyre actually ended up in the lawn back there on the back straightaway, I think.
Oh dear.
Gonna
We're
back it
now
up
under
and see.
5 minutes left. Nick Gunther's coming out of the pits.
Yeah, McIntyre actually sped out and landed in the grass, but no damage.
Fury just had some trouble there, so it looks like his shot at a win is done. It might come down to Gunther and Sandoval.
Wow.
Let's see here. Trying to get hooked up to Gunther here. And Gunther has passed him by a long shot. So Nick Gunther takes the lead back. No one could make it. And I think Sandoval, Blaine, if you could confirm this for me, it looked like he may have taken fuel only, but I'm not sure. Down to
We
4
will check
minutes.
here right now.
Scoring should update this time. Nick Gunther, P1.
Confirm that Sandoval did take fuel. He also overshot the pit stall just a little bit.
Ugh.
But fuel only for Sandoval, no tires.
And he is second place. Gap is 6 seconds. Nick Gunther is looking rather swifty at the moment.
With about just shy of 4 minutes remaining in the race. We got a spin back there. Looks like McIntyre.
Ooh, yeah, going around.
I'll keep an eye to see if this ends up being caution. I doubt it. Looks like he was all by himself.
Yeah, that looked like a self, so we should be okay. Anthony Mercuri is third.
It's the
Emmanuel
Mermaids.
Hartnett scored fourth. P5 is Jack Merkel.
All on the lead lap. Everybody else is not on the lead lap.
Negative. Under 3 minutes to go now. Nick Gunther running some high 42s. Sandoval has some help from Mercurio. Gap is down
He's
to
closing the gap.
5.3.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to have to close in. We got 2.5 minutes to go. And he's going to have to keep closing in here pretty quick. We'll see what the lap time is that time. 41.5.
3.46.
Gunther's
3.4.
43.4, and he's clutching.
Sandoval's catching him. He just dropped to a 3.4 gap.
Yeah, something's not right here with Gunther. I don't know if he just took a splash and still isn't good or what. And with some drafting help.
2 minutes.
Oh my gosh, Sandoval might get him.
He might. He's all over this thing. He just gained like a quarter lap. It went from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. We're looking at 3.4 last time by. The gap between first and second, and now it's 1.8.
1.8. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get this thing.
Sandoval's gonna catch him. We got a minute and a half.
Minute and a half to go, so you're looking at 2 more laps, basically.
Sandoval did overshoot his pit stall when he went in for that half can or a splash, whatever he took, which would have cost him a couple seconds.
Yeah, but how far ahead Gunther went, I feel like maybe Gunther ended up taking less fuel and is now maybe took too little.
And Ulysses also has Mercurio behind him pushing.
And now he's in the draft. We got a minute to go.
1 minute to go in the race, plus a lap.
So I think we are going to see the white flag, not this time, but next time. So we will be taking 2 laps to go here, basically.
Yeah, 40 seconds left.
Gunther's
We'll
trying
make
to
it
break
back
the
around.
draft. He's still lifting a ton. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it.
Ulysses going to get him. Trying to protect the bottom.
Gunther's
Yeah, he
coming
can't
back
make
in.
it.
He knows
He's
he
going to the
can't.
pits.
Too
Wow.
little. That is the guessing game when it comes to something like this, is you don't know exactly how much fuel to take because the game's not going to tell you
No,
because you don't
that's the
know.
thing. So does Ulysses have enough? He should.
He should,
He
although
let Josh go.
McCurry is also closing fast. He's at 2.2 seconds. Timer has officially hit 0. As a matter
Yep.
of fact, you could hear the ding.
Oh, I didn't hear. That's pretty cool. I didn't hear it, but yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Now it's counting into the negatives. So the timer is done.
Timer's
This
done.
will
We are
be.
taking the white flag this lap.
Yep.
Lap
Confirmation
78.
from.
We will run 78 laps under this format. Sandoval's out of fuel.
Is he out of fuel?
You're kidding me.
Or does he think that he won? You
I
have
don't
one
know
more
if he
lap
thinks
to
he
go.
won or what. No, he's slowing. He's out.
Yeah, he's out. He didn't
McCurry
get enough.
has taken the lead.
Oh,
He is going to come around here.
unreal.
Unreal indeed. And that is going to put
Dude.
Jack Merkel into second and Hartnett P3.
Okay, does Merkel have enough fuel? He's
Yeah,
not to the
does
line
anyone?
yet. He's not to the line yet. White flag in the air last time by. So this is the race right here. Checker flag confirmed by Josh
Checkered
Mercurio.
flag is out.
Wow.
Mercury wins it on a crazy strategy race. Golly, you want a crash course in timed races? Well, you just got it right there. Holy
Yep.
cow.
And then the 24 right behind him, Merkel. And then the 83 right there of Hartnett.
That is
unbelievable
right there.
How's that feel after not broadcasting a race since January and you get to do this gem?
Man, that was insane. I think Mercury's out.
I think you're right.
And I don't think
spectator
Sandoval's
cam,
not going to make it to the finish. Sandoval's going to DNF.
Wow. Yeah, he's stalled out. He's done. I think most of these guys are out of fuel.
That is incredible. I cannot believe that. Mercurio is out. He's going to coast across the line.
I think Mercury might be out as well, unless he's...
Merkel's out. We got people flying.
He's clutching it. I think he wants to save some gas to do a burnout, or at least get to that checker on the victory lane there on the front straight.
Gunther ended up making the right call at the very end of pit. Going to end up 4th. He's going to end up ahead of a few other guys. That is unbelievable. I cannot believe what we just witnessed.
That was fantastic.
Was awesome.
Yeah. There we go. Mercury does have enough left for
just a little bit
of burnout.
A little bit of a kind of a send around there. Ulysses has not officially quit yet. So technically the scoring is not official as of yet, but it is McCurry. This is as far as I can tell. It is McCurry, Merkel, Hartnett, Gunther, Mercurio going to be the top 5. Sandoval, Blake Warren, Seth Cole, Austin LaPlante, Matt McIntyre, Jovan Anderson, and Michael Norman in that order. What a tough break for Anderson. Had a great shot at that.
Tough break for a lot of people.
And the camshaft went. And yeah, a lot of guys probably just thinking, I probably only need a splash. I only need half a can. Well,
and now a guy like Ulysses is thinking, if I took like the next option, you've got splash, half can, full can, can and a half too.
Mm-hmm.
If he went for a splash, I bet you he's wishing he took half.
Because he would have had he's wishing that. I'm sure Nick's wishing that. Yep. The only guy that really isn't wishing that is the guy who ended up dominating the race when you get right down to it. Anthony McCurry in the 61 took enough, just barely. He was still saving and ended up running out there pretty much. Golly, that extra lap was the game changer. And that is the
user joined your channel.
That is just how this format is. And Joshua Mercurio has just jumped in through the booth here. And Josh, I think we just witnessed the absolute beast that you have created with these strategy calls.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was just wondering if you wanted to have your winners come in.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I think we'll go ahead and do our top. I mean, hey, we gotta do the
Yeah.
usual broadcast deal. We'll get the top three. We'll go down the. We'll go up the order. We'll start with third, and then go second, and then first. So
All right, I'll be
we'll
back.
go ahead and get Hartnett in here.
User left your channel.
Man, Blaine, we just witnessed something cool. I don't think
User
I've
joined your
witnessed field
channel.
strategy quite that insane
Yeah.
ever before. As we've got our third place finisher here, Emmanuel Hartnett. Uh, Golly, what a nail biter that ended up being. But you're going to end up with a podium finish.
Uh,
Yeah, kind of give me an idea of what was going through your head when you had to decide on how much fuel to take.
I
User
was low
joined
on
your
fuel. I
channel.
was just risking something. I was trying to just finish the race. We just took a can and just a can and made it to the end. But we had a wacky race, getting wrecked like twice. So, but it was great though. Got P3. I didn't think I was going to get third, but got it.
Yeah, you didn't really seem to lose any speed despite those early troubles, but you were hanging right in there with them. Um, but yeah, just kind of I guess kind of give me an idea of like what was kind of going through your head of like, okay, how do I roughly know how much fuel I'm going to need to take here?
I just, no matter what, I was going to go with the can. When I heard 10 minutes left, I was just going to put a can in it, 4 tires, and that's it. And I was lucky to. I was lucky to make it to the end with 2 to go. So I had only 1 projector left when I crossed the line. So that was pretty good. Fun race, like I said, and good to win Anthony.
Yeah, man, that was good. That was a cool deal.
Well, we were talking about
Yeah,
like
go
the
for it, Blaine.
strategy coming into it, like getting near the end of the timer. You guys could get into a green-white checker situation, putting you guys into OT. So with overtime, we're thinking, geez, you might have to run 70 laps. You might have to run 75. Like that last pit stop really did hinge on the fuel, as we saw in the final lap with a couple of guys losing all their gas.
I didn't think I was going to get top 5. I knew I was going to get top 5. I didn't think I was going to get third, but hey, things happen. So that was fun, though. But like I said, good win, Anthony. Good racing, everybody. Just wish I didn't have aero damage to my car. Other than that, great race. Good points day.
And any shout outs or thank yous or really just any last words?
Yeah,
The floor is yours, my friend.
sure. Yeah.
Right as he goes muted.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys broadcasting it. I think my spotter, myself, Ricky, Bobby, everybody. But like I said, good win, Anthony, and yeah, P3. Thank you guys.
Yeah, good race, man. Great job. And
Great race.
yeah, good luck going forward here, man.
Thank you.
User left your
Right on.
channel.
Jack Merkel has disconnected from TeamSpeak, I see. So I believe we do have the race winner in here. Anthony McCurry. Anthony, just to confirm, you got a copy, my man?
I sure do.
Awesome stuff. Great win. You were kind of on an alternate strategy from everyone else. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you were kind of the one dominator of the race, led the most laps by a long shot. But yeah, for everyone else, obviously, it came down to a nail biter of how much fuel to take and can they make it and all that. You just seemed like you were just kind of going all out there because of how your strategy fell. But I guess just kind of talk me through what was going through your head when you were trying to think, all right, how do I strategize a timed race versus knowing how many laps are left?
So the off strategy was kind of an accident because when a yellow had come out right after one that we had just had, I didn't think that anyone was going to go down pit road. So when everybody did, I was like, well, I got to commit to the bit now. And then I think we went yellow free the rest of the race. So it was like I had to commit to being however many laps. It was like 4 laps off everybody at that point. So tire wear was falling off much faster than everybody else. And then obviously the fuel made it so that I had to, at the final stop, had to take more fuel. The timed race aspect isn't super new to me in particular because I race with GT3s and hypercars a lot. So all those races are timed usually. So knowing how to manage a timed races and as far as that goes, it's kind of familiar territory. But doing it on an oval and doing it with the fuel fall off that we were having, I wasn't quite sure, at the end, the last stop, if I was to go with 1 can or a can and a half. I didn't think I needed 2, But then I botched the last pit stop and drove through the pit box, and it equaled about a 4 tire stop anyway by the time I backed up. So, whatever it is. But I took a can and a half and was right on the limit of like making it. So that was pure luck. I'm not even going to pretend like I knew what I was doing on that one. Uh, we had the pace tonight. I felt, even though that we had tires that were a little bit worn out towards the end of runs. It just seemed like, even though the guys behind had draft in the middle of the turn, you kind of hit a wall of dirty air and no one was able to really stick it down to the inside, and they were relying on runs on the straightaway. But as soon as you pull out, the run dies, so you're able to just kind of like hang your line and then try to outbeat them into the turn. So, but yeah, other than that, it was it was pretty much like in that second half, just turn left and hope it sticks.
Blaine, you got anything for him?
Were tires a big issue? Because we were kind of thinking, like, obviously the tire strategy is going to be just having that quick pit stop. Were you guys burning through the tires as quickly as you were burning through the fuel?
Not as aggressively as I thought we would be. I thought we were going to be, you know, getting into the yellow, as we say, pretty quick, kind of falling in with the fuel run. But honestly, I took 2 tires on the last stop, and the tires that I didn't change were just starting to get into the yellow range at the end of the race. So tire wear it was enough to make a difference in top speed in the corners, but not enough to make a difference throughout a longer run if everybody was on the same strategy.
Because even at the start there, because you were able to stay in front of a lot of those wrecks and just chose to stay on the track and not pit. Track position's massive, but then we were wondering about the tires strategy too, thinking, man, like if these tires start falling apart, you can get the fuel mileage, but you wonder if you get the tire mileage. But I mean, obviously it was able to work because you had the least amount of pit stops. I think you only had like 3, and some of the guys had like 6 or 7.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can see all that stuff on the stats, on the stat tracking. We're thinking, man, like we're watching the broadcast. I'm like, hey, he's only made 2 pit stops. Everybody else is like 4 or 5. So it was definitely to your advantage because you obviously were in front of most of the early madness that was happening out there.
Yeah, a lot of the guys behind also had some damage, so some of that might have been playing into top speed on the straights too. So my car up until the end of the race was relatively healthy, and then I smacked the wall a couple times. But uh, that probably the aerodynamics could have probably played a huge role into the straightaway speed. But yeah, not really diamonding, but rubber banding the turn, entering high, shallow into the middle, and then riding it out seemed to be the way to do the turns without wearing down the tires, and then just kind of like backing off accordingly. But everyone else was doing super well behind. I honestly thought that, because usually how these races go, everyone will freight train the leader if it's a draft dependent track. But I honestly was kind of surprised when everyone else wasn't, and I don't know. I'm just as amazed as you are, because this was no way a skill based race that we won. Like for me, it was more like a luck based race, but I'm all for it.
Well, big congratulations to you, my man. I'll give the floor to you here if you want to just give any final thoughts, shout outs, thank yous, anything of the sort. You have the floor, my friend.
First, I want to thank Blake Warren for the mega push at the end of the race, and I think that's kind of what kept me in tow with all the leaders when they came out, because that draft really, like the little bit of boost down the straightaways, really did help. So thanks, Blake, Celsius, Fortnite Squad Racing, everybody at RVAV, and you guys broadcasting. It sounded great. I can't wait to go back and watch the whole race.
It was a good one.
Oh, we
It
had a
was
lot of
definitely
fun
a
up
good
here.
one. Race number 1 of the season ends like that. I mean, it's only gonna. That's like, why not tune into the rest of these things going into the cold months?
Subscribe to Top Dragster. No,
Exactly. Subscribe to Top Dragster right now. Subscriptions are free for the next 10 minutes.
Fish bag.
Oh, great win, man. And yeah, looking forward to see what you can do for the rest of the season here.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, man.
Congratulations, man. Have a good night.
User left your channel.
And there he goes.
That is awesome. That was cool. Yeah, I've not seen anything quite like that before. I know he said that he's had plenty of experience with time races before. I have not, so that was a whole new experience for me. That was
Well,
awesome.
and the group qualifying too. Like they didn't qualify like they would normally would, and then like every league is just different. That's what I love about it. And even every league will run different nights of the week, and each different series is completely different too. Different rules, different whatever. Like you just there's always something fresh, wandering around inside this NASCAR community to find out like, oh, they're doing like group qualifying. That's weird. Like, oh, it's a timed race. That's weird. But it's not, because they're all amazing in their own way. And this tonight was absolutely phenomenal.
A little something different going on, and tonight we got to see just how different that is, and that was really cool. A little bit chaotic there for the first half. The second half was just all sorts of different strategies playing out in real time. That was awesome. That was a really cool race. And Blaine, I could not once again thank you enough for
No, thanks for
being here,
calling, man,
man.
because it's a lot of fun to do this. Like I said, you've helped me out on Tarnation TV more than once. And the last time I tried to repay the favor for you, my game was hooped. So this time, made sure I got home early, got it working, and everything was fine. So yeah, it was awesome. A lot of fun to call this with you, buddy. So yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm hoping I can get you up here a few more times throughout the season.
Yeah,
The
man, I'll be
season,
around.
yeah, the season goes all the way to the end of February. I'm looking at the schedule now. Our race next week on the 15th, same time, right here. We're going to be at Atlanta, so kind of similar as far as what we've got going on here. That'll be cool to see. But I think we're going to go ahead and
What's
wrap it up for now. Um, I'll let you kind of give your final thought there, and we'll go from
I
there.
was curious information on this league. They have a Facebook page, have a website. Like, how do people get into contact with these guys?
So yep, they are NNSCRA's got a Facebook page. Should have a link to that in the description here. Of course, to anyone who is interested in checking it out, get in contact with, of course, Joshua Mercurio runs this series. Seth Cole, one of the top dogs out here at the NNSCRA, along with Michael Norman. I think Nick Gunther also runs the Icebreakers Online series currently. So that's another series that these guys got going on. And then NNSCRA also has Haludega coming up here in I think 10 days. I think that'll be the 18th. That'll be live on
Oh yeah,
JTN. I am racing in that.
cool.
Going to be running the 47. So that'll be the 47 has been Hotel Chevrolet. There'll be the DMR NXS 16 mod. That's going to be cool. So if you are interested in that, definitely check it out, or at the very least, check out JTN on the night of the 18th if you want to check out that race. And of
Yeah, that would
course,
be good.
go frickin' subscribe to Tarnation TV. What Blaine Donlin does over there is amazing. I don't care what he says.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun and meet a lot of cool people doing it. Like all these different broadcasting channels, and we're all just one big happy family. There's no competition. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you need a voice. You just text one of these guys, and they're like, if they can, if they can make it, they'll make it. So yeah, Dad, a lot of fun helping you out. And you know what? Maybe I'll drive next week. You might have to find a different co-host. That's another thing I'm interested to see too. Is it's curious tuning into the different channels, because you have familiar voices, but then sometimes guys have a revolving door as well, and that's always cool too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's I'm definitely hoping to maybe try to get a few different voices in here. I know I have a couple guys that I've been talking to try to get in here, and but no, yeah, we'll definitely. We're all, at the end of the day, we're all just gonna have a good time. I had a blast tonight, and I'm hoping that we can keep that trend going. I have not done an entire series since. Did I do Fast or IMRC first? I know that I did those whole seasons. This will be the first time doing it again in a long time, so I'm glad to have the opportunity to do it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these next few months are going to be holding. We'll be able to see the championship play out in real time. But for right now, I'm going to send everyone off for the night. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you next week at Atlanta. Again, NNSCRA on Facebook. Check it out. Check out Tarnation TV, what Blaine does for NR online racing. And of course, JTN and FRN, they also do an incredible job. I'm just trying to follow in all three of those channels' footsteps.
That's good
TTN,
stuff,
yeah.
buddy.
So have a good one, everybody, and good night. And to everyone in Florida, please stay safe, please. And also, Ethan, thinking of you, my man. Stay strong. Take care, and bye for now. And there we go.